Okay. The United Political Front demands full respect for the rule of law in Kenya. That's the title to the statement. So I'll read it. The Constitution of Kenya at Article 10 sets out the national values and principles of governance that bind all state organs, state officers, public officers, and all persons whenever they apply or interpret the Constitution, enact, apply, or interpret any law, or make or implement public policy decisions. Amongst these national values and principles is the rule of law. We are here today as a united political front of the United Green Movement, the Communist Party of Kenya, and the Ukweli Party to address the nation on the worrisome trend of disrespect for the rule of law in Kenya. Since we gave unto ourselves a new and progressive constitution in 2010, we have witnessed rampant acts of impunity, lack of respect for the constitution, and lack of constitutionalism by the political elite, which has toward the far-reaching transformational agenda that our supreme laws prescribes. 10 years after its promulgation, the Jubilee administration has sandbagged the Constitution's comprehensive reorganization of Kenya's institutions and the models of political and economic governance. Uhuru Kenyatta's administration has done everything in their power to push back on inclusive democracy and economic improvement that made Kenyans vote overwhelmingly for the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Article 159 confers judicial authority to our courts, just like executive and legislative authority is conferred to the executive and parliament respectively. Now these three state organs have limited power, and none is inferior or superior to the other, a fundamental tenet of the rule of law which obligates every person and institution to obey court orders without the option of choosing whether to ignore or to comply with orders directed at them by the courts, and whether they agree with such orders or not. By disobeying court orders and blatantly disregarding their pronouncements, the state and its officers have roundly violated the Constitution, but also engaged in acts that are clearly dereliction of public duty. In effect, the powerful who hold public office and who have sworn to defend the Constitution have chosen to set the stage for anarchy, where only the strongest animals can thrive. We would like to remind the nation of some of the Jubilee administration's missteps and inertia as far as fidelity and commitment to the rule of law is concerned. 1. Political prisoners. 21 former political prisoners who suffered torture and illegal detention in the 1980s, meted out by the government of President Arap Moi, who retired in 2002, instituted a constitutional case against the state in 1988, in which a landmark ruling ordered that they be compensated for unlawful detention, torture, and other inhuman and degrading treatment. The compatriots who sued the state are survivors of state terror, in which they spent days in torture chambers, leaving them with lifelong physical and mental injuries, disabilities, and trauma. More than 10 years after the court ruling, the government has refused to compensate these individuals in blatant disregard for the court orders. Miguna. In early February 2018, numerous court orders to have Miguna produced in court and declaring his deportation order illegal were disregarded by the state. Dr. Miguna was deported in February 2018, days after his arrest. He unsuccessfully tried to return to Kenya on March 26, 2018, forcing his lawyers to go to court, while another attempt on January 7, 2020 was also thwarted. The government, through a state council, maintained that Dr. Miguna's passport expired and the Canada-based lawyer had not applied to renew it, but also had the option of using his Canadian passport to gain entry into the country or seek the renewal of his passport from any Kenyan embassy. Truly defiant and dangerous in our constitutional democracy. The least the government could do is appeal against the orders if it disagreed with the court decision. But the Uhuru Kenyatta administration chose to disregard the court decision and set its own goalposts. Dissolution of Parliament. In response to 6 petitions before him from Kenyans, the Chief Justice in September 2020, and that was Chief Justice Maraga, issued an advisory address to the President recommending that the President dissolves Parliament as required by the Constitution, following Parliament's blatant failure, refusal and/or neglect to pass laws on gender parity as directed by the Constitution, but also its failure to meet the gender parity rule in its own composition, despite several court rulings directing the Assembly to pass legislation to enforce the rule of law or risk being dissolved. The advisory to dissolve Parliament for an omission to perform a constitutional duty more than 10 years down the line should have made the President effect the decision, since he took the oath of office to protect and safeguard the Constitution. Swearing in of 41 judges and appointment of 6 judges. In February 2021, the High Court ordered the President to appoint 41 judges nominated to take up various positions in the judiciary, noting that the President was constitutionally bound by the recommendation of the Judicial Service Commission on person to be appointed. The President, on his part, ignored the directives from the 2 court orders on the flimsy ground that he had intelligence that some of the judges had integrity issues. When the executive eventually made the appointments in 2021, they omitted 6 judges from the list, consequent to which new orders have been issued, but which the executive has not complied with. Now, these 4 instances and many more than we could cite show a dangerous pathway that the executive has chosen. We need and must return our country to the rule of law. As a united political front of the United Green Movement, the Communist Party of Kenya and the Ukweli Party, we are standing up to be counted in demanding a swift end to the lawless trajectory that the presidency has proven to prefer over constitutionalism and the rule of law. We have resolved to work together to rally fellow Kenyans to, brick by brick, help reconstruct our nation towards non-negotiable adherence to the rule of law by all, regardless of their wealth or power or personal preferences. So first, we support the Honorable Chief Justice Willie Mutunga's call that Miguna unconditionally returns home on or about 16 November 2021. As a united front, we will do whatever is in our means to aid, enable and support this return journey. Second, after Dr. Miguna's return, we will petition that the judges of the Court of Appeal to down their tools in solidarity with their 6 colleagues that the President has refused to appoint on flimsy grounds until such a time that the President appoints the 6 judges. Third, we will then petition for the payment of compensation of the political prisoners as was awarded by the courts. We will then, as a united political front, find other instances where there were court orders that have not been fulfilled, demand for the same to be fulfilled until such time when we fully return our country to the rule of law. God bless the United Front and God bless Kenya. Thank you.